But you know, I just have to tell you a little story. I know this big thing is not mine. I love like when the universe, when everything in the universe just comes together. And so I've been keeping these journals since 1975 about my years in the music business. But I started in 84, but I started the journals in 75 when I was a teenager. And I had noticed that I wrote this thing that said, oh, I just discovered this poet named James Wright, who then, as a teenager, I knew nothing about. And then here we are, 75, 35, 40 years later, and a friend of mine just sent me this in the mail. And I was like, oh my God, okay, great. And same thing happened with another friend of mine who said, oh, Michael, I know you loved this magazine that used to come out in New York, specific to New York, called After Dark. I guess you could say it was a gay publication because it always talked about, it was just about like the theater and the movies, and sometimes they talked about all the porno movies that were coming up, but it was very specific to New York and the theater world. So my friend sent me these pristine copies of After Dark, and I opened them, and there was a poet in there named Alex Gilson. And there were two things that I really related to, because it was about sex in New York in the 70s. And so I just read these two things, and I was really charged from them. So I went, you know, and these days you could find anybody if you want to, so I Googled him, and I saw that he had a site. And I saw that I think he was born in maybe like 1939 or something. And I also noticed that there hadn't been any updates since 2005. So I thought, you know, the old queen is probably dead or something. I don't know. So I just thought, okay, I'm really excited. I'm going to write this note and put it out there. And about 15 minutes later, he wrote back to me. And he's 72 years old, and he lives in Santa Fe, and he's still writing. And I guess the reason I'm just telling you this is because I have been inspired by both of them. And because I've been inspired, I want to read two little pieces. One from two from James Wright, and they're short, and then one from Alex Gilson. Autumn begins in Martins Ferry, Ohio. In the Shreve High football stadium, I think of Polacks nursing long beers in Tiltonsville, and gray faces of Negroes in the blast furnace of Benwood, and the ruptured night watchmen of Wheeling Steel dreaming of heroes. All the proud fathers are ashamed to go home. Their women cluck like starved pullets dying for love. Therefore, their sons grow suicidally beautiful at the beginning of October and gallop terribly against each other's bodies. I just love that. I thought that was just so beautiful. And this is just a little piece of a long poem, but it's entitled Two Hangovers. And this is part 2 of Two Hangovers. I try to waken and greet the world once again. In a pine tree a few yards away from my windowsill, a brilliant blue jay is springing up and down on a branch. I laugh as I see him abandon himself to entire delight, for he knows as well as I do that the branch will not break. I like that. Like I said, I had written to this poet who now lives in Santa Fe, and he's 72, and I just totally related to this, and it's called Straggling 3rd Street. In my imagination, I stand in the middle of the street. I point this way to the library and that way to the Y. The roads I choose as a man all started here. The library was a stone mansion with turret and balconies and wraparound porches. I was as lost in its books as in bodies in the locker room across the street. A church bought the library and knocked it down. So much for churches. Years later, the Y was torn down too. But because I'm walking in my imagination, both buildings stand proud. I point this way to my head and that way to my heart. For the rest of my life, I'm in the middle of 3rd Street. I like that. Yeah, it's a good one. All right, so like I said, I never know what's going to happen here, but that's okay. I made a little book with my writing partner called Night Blooming Jasmine Will Never Smell the Same, but I don't think I'm going to read anything from that. So, you know, and I always get nervous when I do these things because, you know, I produced records for 25 years and I take pictures and I publish, well, I didn't publish, a company in Berlin published my photo books, but I always have like such high regard for poets and I love poetry, but I really like to just say I'm a person who likes to tell stories. And I am a keen observer of life, my life, your life, anything that just interests me. So all these pieces are just going to be little thoughts, I guess you could call them. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. A terrible beauty exists this October morning. It's all too much for one person. Do I live or do I die? I am in your hands. He died of a broken heart, and that is the saddest thing in all of the world. Beautiful savage, you cross my path all of the time, and once again, you leave me lost and losing my breath. Build a bonfire, make a wish, live in God's grace. Albino wolf, Neanderthal face, all rogue and shit, waiting for the light to change, so I blow him a kiss for good luck. License plates, Wyoming. God bless, Matthew Shepard. AIDS has no expiration date. It exists in our lives, in our daily lives. A pill here, a pill there. The weather changes, and we still move forward. This is a little story about a soccer player from the UK that came to vacation in New York, and I fancied him because he was just huge and strong and my type. And he told me a story about his life, and it just, for me, it kind of just said it goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover. I usually don't, but I wasn't ready really for his story. So you have to keep in mind he's this big, beautiful bruiser with incredible legs because he's played soccer for 20 years. But this is really how it comes out on the page. A machete to the head at 10 years of age. Penetration from father and grandfather. Arm cuttings to beat the band. The revolting taste of cum. Never a bottom for fear of being roped and tied. You poor, small child. Petite for your age. Years later, your best revenge is testosterone and old-fashioned weightlifting. You kill your predators, and now you are the star of the biggest and the baddest rugby team in all the world. Bless you. I hope you are free. Mind, body, and soul. I love this little light show that we have going on here.
Yeah.
The light just keeps going on and off, and originally I wanted to like maybe have some atmospheric music, but it's nice that the sound of the rain and the cars going by and planes add to the, I don't know, just to the evening and the event and blah blah blah. See, now I truly fucked up because nothing is in order, but you'll bear with me just for a moment and we will figure this out together, kind of sort of. You can talk amongst yourselves if you like. There's no kids here, though. Oh, well, yeah, okay. We'll do that. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I have it together here, I think. Oh, don't hate me. Okay, I'm almost done. Oh, this is a goodie. Oh, this is a goodie. Oh, this is a goodie. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're almost done here. Oh my God, I can be here forever because I'm so fucked up. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I guess I will do it from here. Okay. There's still small observations. You can call them poems, you can call them whatever you like, as long as you listen. Today is the day I am moving forward. No regrets, no resentments, with all the love in my heart and open to all the possibilities that life has to offer. No more secrets, no more lies, only dazzling, glorious truth. Last whisper. Start all over. Last breath. A whisper. Silence. No bells rang, but the birds flew south. Quietly, with a flutter, I extend my arms to the sky. Flowers fly out of my hands. I give you peace, love, joy, and the memory of a life and of a death this fine day. This is just a little piece about when I was wandering around Père Lachaise in Paris. It's an incredible cemetery that's like a city within a city. It's so big and beautiful, and you could just kind of spend the day there. And people like Simone Signoret, Edith Piaf, the rock star Jim Morrison, they're all kind of buried there. Black crows crowing, circling, gray sky upon us. The bells rang to signal the close of the cemetery. The light at dusk made everything glow. Very soon, the light turned black as I visited Jim Morrison's grave. It was lit with beautiful candles and scattered flowers. I think I will return tomorrow in the daylight. This is called Dreaming Halo. I am dreaming. I am breaking boundaries. I let my sixth sense take over and miracles happen. And when miracles happen, it pushes me forward into another dimension. And that dimension helps me grow, and I listen, and I learn, and I smile at all the activity being thrust upon me like a halo. I take that halo that I wear like a crown and delicately take it off and look at it and place it back on my head somewhat crooked. And that's okay because I'm not perfect. I am an American artist opening my heart and my hands to you, and I hope that I make a lasting impression. Okay, I'll read two more. How's that, Bob?
Sure.
Two more is good. I had this photography. I don't even know how to start this thing. I had this photography show in Atlanta recently, and it was mostly all photos. But I wanted to make something in these little vintage jars. So I asked men to send me their jock straps from, like if they were a football player or whatever, just anything out of the locker room will do. So, so I squeezed them in these little beautiful jars, and so it became almost like this conceptual art, this little piece of folk art, because I tied a piece of twine to it with a beautiful picture that I took, and people said, "Oh wait, does that jock belong to that handsome guy?" And I was like, yeah, but sometimes it really didn't. So it's like, you have to use your imagination. But this one guy, I know this probably sounds crazy, but it doesn't matter, because I like it. Yeah. This one guy from North Carolina sent me this jock strap, and he said it belonged to his father. Please. But it's a goodie. It's called Olympic Champion 1962, because that's what the label said. Olympic Champion 1962. A beautiful autumn morning, the furniture movers took everything away, save for that one chest of drawers, antique and battered, from my grandma's house. I realized that this dresser was from my dad's old bedroom, and looking at it, a flood of memories returned. It must have been 1962, the year my dad moved out to marry my mom. I carefully opened the drawers and came upon his Olympic champion, made in the USA jock. My own memories came back fast and furious. There is an intense light from the attic's window. Goretzky's Symphony No. 3 starts playing. I close my eyes and place the jock to my face and breathe in. I move around the attic in a dream state, dancing solo, where I was in my youth, but not a teenager, but now a full-on adult. Dancing with my buddies, the anvil never looked this good. The Ethel rag was passed, the sirens were ringing, my pants were unbuttoned, you could see the label of the jock peeking through. A beautiful strong man in jeans and a leather vest led me out of the club to his motorcycle and rode back to Washington Street with me. I loved the sweat and the nakedness and the kisses. I open my eyes and I am back in the attic and place the jock neatly and beautifully like I found it in the drawer and quietly leave the room. That was a good one.
Michael, can you read? There's the one poem that you have. I think it might be in there about the old days in New York and how it's changed.
Oh, yeah,
and
sure.
I love that piece.
You know, I grew up in New York my whole life. I worked in the music business for 25 years. Gay New Yorker. I lived on Washington Street, which is in the meatpacking district. Back then, if you I guess weren't gay, if you didn't live in the West Village, you really didn't hang out in the meatpacking district. And now, of course, the High Line is there, and you know, Puma and Nike and Stella McCartney and all high-end designers are there. And you know, it's just, you know, gentrification. It's what happens in big cities, and so this is a little reminiscing about the '80s and in New York City. Yeah, okay. You had to do this, Bob.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's great.
It's a fantastic poem.
Okay. Memories are the only thing that set me right so I could begin the day. The wild frontier, the feeling of Washington Street, all tranny hookers and out-of-state license plates, all in hot pursuit of the $20 blowjob. Then there's the 10-cent phone booth that's ringing all hours of the day and night. So I pick it up and I look up at the window at a man jerking off and gesturing me to come on up to play. Man, oh man, you can't tell me that those weren't the good old days. Mine Shaft, Ramrod, Eagle's Nest, Anvil, Jays, Hellfire Club, the Rambles. They don't make them like that no more. Oh shit, that's because we are all dead. Oh. That's the end of that. Let's see. Okay, I'll read you two more that really will be the end, but they're good. Yeah. And it's funny, I don't know why, I didn't title anything in this book. So it's just like, and we didn't put numbers on the pages. I don't know, and it's not like we were fucked up or anything, because I don't drink anymore. Oh, okay, three short ones. Yeah, okay. My hands are bandaged, wrapped. Christ is on the cross. I kiss his feet. He is my lover. There's a prayer that is spoken, a transformation that takes place. Christ is lifted from the cross, nails removed, laid down, blood dried gently. I am Mary Magdalene, whore of modern times, receiver of past and present lovers, all remembered. Between memory and reality lies a stillness. The dinner table is set and lit by candles, filled with rice, beans, and pork delight. Ghosts invited. Grandmother has died, and I'm seduced by grandfather, and I love him. He reminisces about his army days. A strong hand, a gentle rub, no, not so gentle after all. Erect monster Goliath. Now I lay me down to a beautiful dream state. Naked youth and aged 14 or 64, I give all of myself, and I wish you never to leave me. For I am your child. You have seduced me, taken me, raped me. Your erection takes hold of me for warmth, penetration like no other, all in the bedroom, time after time after time, always dreaming that I love you. The rustling of the trees is a song I hear over and over again. It is the same song, yet I never tire of it, because it is beautiful beyond words. Oh, good. Well, these last two are quite different from each other, but they're both good, and they're both from this little book. You know, I'm a single man who lives in New York. I'm 52 years old, and I like being single, but my, you know, I think sometimes we all, if we're single, we all have this image of what our mate is going to look like, or at least I do anyway. So, of course, my mate looks like a 250-pound, red-haired football player with freckles everywhere, down to his fingers. But that hasn't happened yet. But the way he comes out on the page is quite different. Red face, pockmarked, acne-scarred, crater face, cyclops, one-armed, redhead, athlete, wounded, wilted leg, scarred beyond, greased monkey, fucking mechanic. I love you dirty, so tell me where you been, 'cause I have loved you my entire life. Oh, yeah, I guess this one piece is titled. It's called Marvelous, and it's one of my favorite words. And one of these days, I've said this all year, I'm just going to get Marvelous tattooed from here to here in big, like, gay script, so it looks fancy. It's called Marvelous. One second. Anyway, thanks again for listening. Everyone was pretty fucking fabulous tonight. I loved it. And I love that Bob in Gallery U has these I guess it's once a month, poetry readings, and it's great that people want to come out and hear other people's stories and words and stuff, and that's a good thing. Marvelous. I delight in travel and love. I've been on many excursions. Summer Breeze by Seals and Crofts is on the radio, but it's now being performed by Typo Negative. I am most definitely showing my rock and roll roots. I am pumping my fists in the air, jubilant, free, screaming victorious. How did I survive the plague, dear God? Night-blooming jasmine will never smell the same to me. Take me to another place, possibly San Francisco, possibly the St. Mark's Baths. It's 1984, and I'm just reminiscing about my life, you know. I am thinking of muscle-buffed Ryan Phillippe on a 2010 magazine cover, yet my mind travels to gay days, gay bars, gay parties, gay dance floors, gay cheer, war-torn and vanished, gone, empty, in the blink of an eye, blindsided and scared. Where did he live? How come no one remembers his name? How I survived the plague is beyond me. So I stand tall, and I don't forget our history and our fallen brothers and sisters from the war, pick a war, any war, who came before us. So I raise a toast and fill the air with art's delight and the knowledge of their hard work, so that generations to come appreciate, adore, and marvel. Good night.